As of recently, your name is June Egbert. The land of wind and shade is pretty. The light is always low and unobtrusive, flickering fireflies illuminating the brown stones and navy blue grass. Villages where the yellow-skinned salamanders live are quiet and lively, like a party winding down, silhouetted against the twilight, black oil lakes gushing lazily. Still, something strikes you as tense about the place. Something in the air, or more accurately, not in the air. The place is windless, dusky gray clouds high above, motionless and absent of the billows that the puffy white clouds on Earth had.
Get away from the window, John,
your Nana insists from nearby. You hastily tug yourself away, seeing several scampering imps in the distance through the trees. Presently, you're hidden away in a cozy cabin without a plan, except hope that these superpowered imps don't spot you. You peek out the window again. One of the imps, a little weirdo who's about half as tall as you, points a clawed finger at a tree and evaporates it in a flash of nuclear green lightning, laughing maniacally as its cohorts clap enthusiastically. Fear grips your heart like an icy hand reaching into your chest. You felt fear before, but you've only been afraid in some sense of outcomes. Afraid that you'd get in trouble with the principal. Afraid your dad would take away your GameCube. Fear for your very life is a new, real sense that your existence could end. Somehow worse is the fact that Nana just called you the wrong name.
Sorry.
Nana puts a hand on your shoulder, sensing your feelings like only a grandma can.
I meant June.
You sigh, pushing her hand away more insistently than you intended to.
I feel useless hiding here. What am I supposed to do?
Your voice cracks, and you hate it. You sound to yourself like a little boy, not an adult.
There's nothing else to do but wait,
Nana insists firmly.
You aren't strong enough?
You scoff, cutting Nana off. You stand up, teeth gritting. The cabin you're hiding in isn't large, a single room with a miniature bed sized appropriately for one of the waist-high salamanders who are evidently the natives of Loas. Nana floats back a little, holding up her hands defensively.
I didn't mean it like that,
she says hastily. But she clearly did mean it like that. Pity isn't something you can handle right now. Not after your friends told you to sit tight.
I'm sick of not being strong enough,
you say, louder than you mean to.
I feel like I just discovered all this stuff about myself, but it didn't actually help me at all.
You sigh, running a hand through your hair.
I can't help my friends. I can't help myself. I couldn't help...
You choke on the words.
We'll find your father,
Nana says quietly. Tears sting your eyes as you realize how much she's been holding herself together, hearing the wavering tone of her voice.
He wouldn't want you to wind up dead.
Nana places her hand on your shoulder again, and your eyes meet, and in them you see a fear deeper even than yours. You fear for your life, tears and sniffling and confusion, but she fears for those she loves, steady hands and a steely gaze. This leaves you rather helpless. You flop down onto the salamander-sized bed, forced to lay in a fetal position to fit, pecking your thumbs into your PDA. You check Pester Chum. You could speak to Rose, Dave, or Jade, but you're ashamed to look at their names in your chum roll. Even Karkat had forgotten about you. Rose, Dave, and Jade all have something to do, something to work towards to save your lives, but he didn't give you anything. The last thing Dave said to you was the best way for you to help is to sit tight. Worthlessness hangs over you like a spinning baby's mobile. Talking to them isn't going to work. Instead, you try something new. You take a shot in the dark, hoping to find some light. One of the troll's stories from Karkat's stupid document intrigued you. A name. Vriska. A troll which all the other trolls seem to fear. A troll strong enough to kill the Black Queen. The idea of strength draws you in, and you find yourself typing Arachnid's Grip into Pesterchum.
Hello?
Predictably, there is no response. You sigh, frustrated, typing with more insistence, as if this Vriska person might feel your keystrokes, like tapping her shoulder.
Vriska, right?
Your face reddens. This is embarrassing. Cold calling some alien woman for nebulous reasons.
I don't know how to tell if you're online or if you'll see this. How do you guys even tell if we're messaging you? Can't you see our entire timeline on your chat client?
The anger at your own weakness ferments quickly into anger at this stranger online. You feel foolish, laying here in a too small bed, helplessly waiting while your grandma protects you from imps that barely come up to your waist. Your hands begin to shake.
Hello? What the fuck? I don't get you stupid trolls. You brag about killing the Black Queen and wanting to help us, but now I can't get a hold of you. You know what? I bet you're a fraud. Fraud, 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 fraud.
Oh my god, stop messaging me.
Your eyes widen. Oh shit, she actually responded.
Every time you make a new message, there's a new ping on my timeline, and it covers up things I'd rather be seeing, such as anything else. So clingy. Ugh, you're just like him. Don't message me again. I would block you, but that would be a waste of pressing 2 buttons. Bye!
A combination of old and new shame sets you off. This girl is maddeningly conceited. You're sick of being blown off by your friends, but you know they mean well. This is just some smug bitch.
Would you get the hell off your high horse? What the fuck are you talking about, you smug dingus? You won't waste your time blocking me? You literally just typed like 7 responses to me. That's way more effort than blocking someone.
You realize you're sitting up now in the undersized bed, breathing heavily through flared nostrils. You probably could have come up with something better than smug dingus. Your throat is dry as you wait for a response.
8.
What?
8. I responded 8 times.
Okay, so what?
8 is a lucky number to me, so it's important you get it right.
Ugh, how's this for 8? Fuck you.
Okay, you know what? I misjudged you, Blue Human. You're not as pathetic as that guy I was talking about earlier.
Your eyebrows rise, hope pushing them upwards. Not pathetic? That's the highest praise you've gotten since things went to shit around here.
Remains to be seen just how pathetic you are. What exactly do you want, Blue?
My name is June, first of all, not Blue. And second of all, I was sort of wondering if
Wait, what do you want from this girl? You want something she has that you lack, something that she can harness by striking fear into her friends that you don't have yourself. You're tired of being blown around by the game, and you figure it's time to blow back. Power.
Power?
Yeah, you're powerful. You beat the Black King, unless you were lying. And I know you made Jade sleep a bunch of times before the game started. You can teach me how to be stronger.
Oh, Blue. Flattery will get you everywhere. Being stronger is what you want?
Yes.
There's a long pause. You stare at Vriska's octuple ellipsis, breathing slow and deep. For some reason, you suddenly want this stranger's approval very badly.
Bet. Let me get something prepared. I'll contact you again when you're not fleeing from imps.
What do you mean fleeing from imps? Just then, the door to the cabin is atomized in a green flash. You are no longer June Egbert. Your name is Jonathan Egbert. It wasn't long ago that your biggest dilemma was arguing with the HOA about a tree permit. Now you're on an alien world dealing with fantasy shenanigans. Now you've just been dumped onto a massive checkerboard planet by a girl in gold pajamas with a woman named Roxanne after a deadly showdown with a strange dog man.
You okay?
Asks Roxanne, holding out a hand. You take it and get it to your feet, dusting yourself off. You're still wearing a button-down and tie, terribly mussed from the fall and the day's problems. Roxanne makes you rather self-aware of the state of your dress for some reason. Fine, dear, you say thankfully. You take a long, deep breath, putting your hands on your knees. The woman watches, her hip cocked to one side. Roxanne is wearing a long lab coat, which buttons toward the left breast, and you're somewhat jealous about how much less troubled for wear she is.
Who's that girl?
She asks.
She saved our asses, given how the moon just blew the fuck up.
She looked familiar, you say. She looked like my son.
Yeah?
Roxanne begins walking and you follow without thinking. Maybe John has a sister, you reason.
I feel like his daddy would know that.
You scoff.
You'd remember seeing your old lady give birth.
Oh, John is adopted. A strange circumstance is that. So strange that it was hell getting him a birth certificate. You remember those days arguing with the Secretary of State's office with your mother in tow. It makes you smile. I'm actually unmarried, you say quickly. For some reason, you feel like that detail is vitally important.
My Rosie is adopted too,
Says Roxanne.
Weird question, but did your John blow in during a meteor crash?
He was indeed found by my mother in a crater where the meteor had crashed. You must have read John's story in the news. I remember the local station coming around. You chuckle nostalgically.
Not exactly,
She says.
Rosie blew in on a meteor too. Crashed right near my place.
What a coincidence, is all that you can manage. You watch Roxanne from behind, wondering what she knows. You both reach a stream, having to hop across a trail of rocks to get to the other side. The checkerboard ground gives way to black and white trees, which you pick through aimlessly. Your tie catches on a branch, and you abandon it, unbuttoning your sensible shirt.
Everyone who plays this game arrives on a meteor. It's like a thing.
Roxanne holds your hand as she helps you up a tall rock. When you get to the top, you don't let go. This game, you say. You know about it, don't you?
Yeah.
She says simply.
I was part of a team researching meteoric activity, a company called Skynet. We found out that every once in a while, a big meteor would appear above the planet spontaneously and crash. Some of the meteors had stuff on them. We were able to develop tools to predict when more meteors would come and when they would hit. That's how I found my Rosie.
Let me guess. The meteors came from this cockamamie game you offer.
Bingo. There was just one problem. Using the tools to predict the meteors, we saw that there were millions of them set to hit in 2009. We had this big document drafted to talk to the government and the UN, but before it was finished, Skynet was bought out by Betty Crocker Corp.
The baking company? You say incredulously. My mother worked there. That's some coincidence.
I don't think it's coincidence, Johnny,
Roxanne says. You squeeze her hand tighter as she continues.
It's all part of this big web of bullshit. A web too big for some dumb broad like me to understand.
Don't call yourself a dumb broad, you say defensively. Roxanne smiles in a way that makes you happier than you've been in years. You're about to say something else, but Roxanne has stopped walking, gazing forward in shock. You both emerge from the sparse woods to a ghastly sight. It's a farm. More accurately, it used to be a farm. A massive field in the black and white soil, now pockmarked with burning craters and immense scorch marks. The both of you walk down the hill toward the field, the dying green flames flickering softly.
Look,
Says Roxanne, pointing. At the far end of the field, there's a kneeling figure, hands on the ground, tears in his eyes. "Hello!" you call across the field. The figure looks shocked, hastening to his feet.
Friend or foe?
He demands in a squeaky voice. In his hands he holds a spear, brandished at you in terror. You and Roxanne hold up your hands. "Friend," you say in unison. The black-shelled man collapses with an exhausted sigh.
I don't know why I bothered to ask, he says. Friend and foe alike are probably long dead.
"What happened here?" you ask, crouching to help the little man up. He's clearly one of the natives, black-shelled just like that Jack Noir fellow. You wisely decide not to hold his color against him.
What happened? What happened is what always happens. My fields were destroyed. If it's not the White King, it's the Black King. Skye and her stupid wars, the man sighs. Sorry, friends. My name is Worker Vassal number 413. You can call me WV.
"Kings," you scoff. "I've heard too much talk of kings and queens lately. They make me sick."
Me too, squeaks WV. But alas, there is no other form of governance for we carapist folk.
The WV beckons for you and Roxanne to follow him into a nearby shack, mostly intact with a chunk shorn from the thatched roof. "My name is Jonathan, and this lovely lady is Roxanne," you say. You blush, looking quickly at Roxanne to gauge how well she took being called lovely. To your delight, she is smiling sweetly at you as she sits.
Greetings, Jonathan and Roxanne of the Wastes. Water is all I have at the moment.
Mr. Vassal pours you a cup of lukewarm, clear water, sitting, arms folded.
I used to grow scrumptious gourds here, but they've all been burnt, stolen, or destroyed.
what will you do now that your farm is gone?
Asks Roxanne.
Normally, if a worker vassal is unable to work, he heads to Castle Black to be reassigned, but I hear tell that Castle Black is completely abandoned as of late. Word is that the king fell to his own sovereign slayer.
Jack, you and Roxanne whisper.
Without a king, we'll all die,
Squeaks WV.
A state cannot exist without a king.
That's not true, you say suddenly. WV's words seem wrong to you, immeasurably sad.
It is, he insists. What are we carapaces to do? Govern ourselves?
Precisely, you insist. The worker vassal looks at you, gaping. You govern yourselves.
How?
Asks WV miserably.
Kings tell us what to do. Who will tell us what to do otherwise?
Do you have any wine?
Roxanne asks, politely trying to squeeze a word in edgewise. But you're too fired up about democracy to feel sheepish about talking over a lady right now. You will decide for yourselves what to do, you say. You have a right to the pursuit of happiness, just like any king.
I do?
WV's eyes shimmer for a moment, but he shakes his head.
But that's silly. If everyone just did what they wanted, nothing would get done. How would we decide on how to work together so everyone has a say?
Simple, you say. The room is silent. WV is watching you in awe. You speak again, and the sheer force of your word topples WV from his chair onto the floor. Democracy! When the worker vassal stands again, he is simply enamored. You help him up and clutch his hand tightly.
Democracy,
WV repeats, mystified.
How do I do a democracy, sir?
The backbone of the democracy is the citizens' vote, you say. You gather together your countrymen and you all vote on what it is to be done. Whichever cause or means gets the most votes is what you all work together to achieve.
Vote,
The WV repeats.
if we all voted to decide, we wouldn't need a king at all.
No, you say with a grin. No kings, just mayors and presidents, who you as citizens can vote in or out if they do well or poorly.
Mayors.
WV speaks again, the fire in your eyes spreading to his own. Let's try it now, you say. Put it to a vote. All in favor of ditching your horrible king, say aye.
Aye,
Squeaks WV. You clap him on the shoulders proudly. It's settled. Gather your countrymen from all walks of life. Tell them about democracy and cast off the shackles of your monarchs. Renounce this broken field and be reborn. The worker vassal hops from foot to foot, so excited he can barely speak. He shakes your hand vigorously and embraces you around the waist tightly.
I will never forget you, Jonathan,
he says with new vigor, waving goodbye as he dashes headlong out the door. You and Roxanne exchange a look with raised eyebrows.
Now that he's gone, let's find where he keeps his wine.
Roxanne says quietly. Snag some food, too, you say. That Castle Black sounds like a lovely place to have ourselves a little picnic.
How do you think we get there?
Roxanne muses as she opens cupboards and closets, gathering food into a modest basket. Well, you say, pointing out the window. Outside it, peeking over the checkered hills, is a massive obsidian spire extending into the blue sky and firmament. If it's that big black castle in the distance, I gather it will be quite easy to find. Your name is Dave Strider. Right now you're on a planet called the Land of Heat and Clockwork. It pretty much categorically sucks. This categorically sucks, you say to your partner, who is also named Dave. This is because he is also you. Yup, responds the other Dave. Other Dave flaps his wings slightly in midair. You're glad that Other Dave has wings and is an orange-colored ghost. Otherwise, it would be hard to tell yourselves apart. You'd hate to forget which one of you is you. The Land of Heat and Clockwork seems to have more heat than clockwork. Its entire span is a massive orb of lava, metal plateaus in the shape of gears jutting forth from it like the great tables shoved into the slag, some horrid game of the floor is lava invented by a toddler who is also God. What do we do now? Asks Other Dave, also known as Dave Sprite. You scratch your chin. If you don't know, I don't know, you reason, since we're the same guy. I was more asking in order to get the gears turning, says Dave Sprite. Proverbially, he adds hastily. The other part of your land is clockwork. Massive gears clunking and thudding, grinding gears sometimes attached to springs. The mesas of Lohack are made of these metal fixtures, houses and businesses set atop them, spinning in time with the ground below. Dave Sprite is flying above you, zooming through the skies, carrying you under the armpits like an unruly cat, your legs dangling stupidly below. You both have an intensely stoic expression on your faces behind the pairs of aviator shades you both wear. We should ask for help, you say, squinting to the horizon. Yeah, Dave Sprite agrees. We told Karkat that we'd secure the beat mesa, but fuck if I know where it is. Really? You look up at him. He shrugs. I thought you knew everything about this game. You're like my help character, right? You feel yourself descending, Dave Sprite lowering you both down onto a particularly large gear city, the size of a dozen city blocks. I only know about normal game things, Dave Sprite says. The beat mesa isn't a normal game thing. You feel solid ground under your feet. Soon after you stand, you hear a loud thunk, and the gear beneath your feet shifts clockwise. Who should we ask? You look around the gear city. It's full of small buildings arranged on a loose grid, occupied by crimson-red bipedal crocodiles. To play it cool for Dave Sprite, you don't comment on the absurdity of crimson-red bipedal crocodiles. One of the trolls, Dave Sprite says simply. Probably not Karkat for obvious reasons. The obvious reasons other Dave is referring to, of course, is the social embarrassment. Karkat gave you the assignment and you gladly accepted, so asking him to help not 20 minutes later you made a promise is bad form. Very uncool. Speak of the devil, you say. Dave Sprite peeks over your shoulder as you withdraw your sleek phone. A message from one of the trolls is waiting for you.
4, -13, 612.
Listen, I know you troll shitheads love typing like assholes, but this is a brand new low. Are you trying to communicate? Are we about to have a heartwarming multicultural exchange while we slowly fall in love navigating our different circumstances and homeworlds? Will our tale be in a theater near you? Dibs on being played by Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey. Fuck, that can't be how you spell his name. Anyway, you can be played by that bald guy on Seinfeld. What the fuck is his name? Does Google still work? Oh, hell yeah, Google still works. Go ahead, George Costanza. Let's untangle your xenomorphic web.
Wow. Once you get going, you just don't stop, do you? You're getting on my case for being cryptic? I don't know what any of that meant. Except for Seinfeld. We have Seinfeld.
Oh shit. The show about nothing is truly a universal constant. Hey, by the way, Georgie boy, aren't you the troll who quite literally killed my best buddy?
Yes.
You do realize how saying yes, then smiling with evil eyebrows is quite possibly the worst response you could have given me, right, Mr. Costanza?
My name isn't George Costanza. It's lmao.
What the hell kind of name is lmao?
Lay my bulge across your visage facet.
Okay.
You would have laughed if you were smart.
Okay.
Look, I realize I was technically the reason your friend technically died, but that's in the past. And also an alternate timeline.
You're not getting off on a technicality here. You're not a lawyer, smart guy.
I am, actually.
Okay.
I want to buy some goodwill from you, some trust. So, I've sent you the coordinates to the Beat Mesa.
Coordinates.
You know, polar coordinates. 4, -13, 612. If you map them onto a sphere, they'll show you where the Beat Mesa is with respect to your land.
The evil eye emoticon isn't instilling confidence, lame-eye. Or should I say, lame-ass.
I roll. It's not an evil eye, dumbass. The forward symbol is my horns.
Ugh, that's moronic.
Just follow the polar coordinates, Dave. Also, for the record, my name is Terezi.
You look up at Dave Sprite, who is reading over your shoulder. You're cool with this since you're both the same guy. If they're the coordinates on a sphere, they wouldn't be polar. They'd be spherical coordinates. Tell her, Dave Sprite says. Also, for the record, they're not polar coordinates if they're on a sphere. Hashtag owned.
Wow, you're so cool, Human Dave. You really got me.
Glad we're on the same page.
If you need me to hold your grip stalk while I guide you to the Beat Mesa, I'll oblige.
Some guidance would be great. Just one thing. Oh wait, you killed my friend. Not technically, not just as a prank. Just because it was undone doesn't mean you didn't do it. Ergo, fuck off.
I'm sorry. I was a different person when I did that. I thought you were collectively responsible for a demon attack. Now I want to help you.
Just block her, says Dave Sprite. Your thumb hovers over the block button, but the teal-colored troll gets one more final message in.
I picked you because you're too cool to be tricked.
You and Dave Sprite breathe a collective sigh. You shake your heads at each other, and you drag your thumb away from the block button. After a long moment, you relent. Where to, Mr. Ligma. You are no longer Dave Strider. Your name is Karkat Vantis. Having a secret is a miserable thing. Having information in your head that you're not allowed to share just defeats the purpose of information, but unrequited tidbits are outweighed by the soul-crushing despair of a secret escaping. Your brow furrows with worry, fissures opening up in your visage from the sheer force of your stress.
Are you okay, man?
Says a raspy voice to your left. You turn and see Gamzee standing about an inch from your face.
Gah!
You fall back out of the computer chair.
Announce your presence, dude.
Sorry.
Gamzee chuckles, helping you up.
You just look all pressed and most unrighteously miserable.
Gamzee frowns and adds,
More than usual, I mean.
There's a lot to be pressed about.
You hiss, crossing your arms. You see a searching look on Gamzee's face that makes your heart ache inexplicably. You wince.
Wanna talk about it?
He asks with a quiet sweetness that almost melts your heart. Almost. You look away to avoid meeting Gamzee's gaze. Gamzee is your oldest friend. Your old hive was close to his, and because of his tenacity, you've stayed in touch. Even when you moved to the barracks for basic training, he remained in that cluttered hive of his, falling deeper into soper pie addiction. Did you abandon him?
No.
You say simply. When you look back, Gamzee looks unimaginably disappointed. He doesn't even respond, running a hand between his horns.
Maybe we can, chat later?
He says, voice croaking with hope. His voice is getting raspier. It's a sign he's running out of pies. You don't know if that's good or bad.
Maybe.
You reply in a way that fails to reassure both yourself and Gamzee. He hesitates before slumping miserably away. Wow, what a depressing fucking interaction.
Karkat.
Says a voice to your right. You turn and see Terezi standing about a centimeter from your face, tongue extended in a goofy grin.
Ugh.
You fall back, staggering onto your ass.
What the fuck is your problem?
Sorry.
Terezi giggles, helping you up.
You look so cute when you fall on your ass like a moron.
She grins, and those blank eyes flit uselessly in their sockets, thoughtfully.
You look stressed.
Terezi licks her lips.
More than usual, I mean.
There's a lot to be stressed about.
You grumble.
What do you want?
This isn't good. You want to avoid Terezi at all costs. You're pretty sure the crazy bitch can smell secrets, probably literally. Her sense of smell is keen to an unnatural degree, such that she can smell colors and apparently concepts.
I want to know why you're stressed.
She says simply.
You're the beating blood pusher of this group, Karkat. You always know what's going on. If anyone knows juicy new gossip, it's you.
I don't know anything.
You insist, your eyes flitting this way and that. Fuck, you're such a bad liar. Why are you such a bad goddamn liar? Terezi knows you're lying and prods around your reaction, leaning even closer.
Is it about Gamzee?
She presses.
No, you're always sad about him. Is it Vriska? Did she do something?
It's not any one of us.
You say hastily, wincing as you realize you just gave something away in admitting that. Fucking lawyers.
So it's someone else? One of the humans, or...
Terezi strokes her chin with her cane.
Dr. Scratch.
You don't speak, but your silence speaks on your behalf, as does your flitting eyes.
Is it about the scratch? Did he tell you something? You don't look happy. Is it bad news?
Terezi seems concerned now, her questions taking a more serious, professional tone. You decide that the only way to keep Terezi from opening your brain up like a can of swim beasts is to hit the eject button.
I have to talk to Vriska.
You say hurriedly. Unfortunately for you, this is the worst combination of words you could have used.
See you soon.
You hear Terezi threaten as you walk deeper into the meteor. You emerge from the dark hallways onto one of the many balconies overlooking the furthest ring, the meteor veil on the edge of the medium. You can see Skaya in the distance as a tiny blue dot.
Karkat.
Says a voice from behind you. Oh no, not again. You take a step forward before turning around to avoid being face to face with Vriska. To your surprise, there's no one. You blink, turning back toward the balcony.
Hey.
Says Vriska, a millimeter away from your nose.
Gah.
You stumble backward, banging your head on the doorway you just exited from. Vriska laughs vindictively before hauling you to your feet.
Relax, Karkat. It's just me.
Vriska's metal arm squeaks as she helps you up, its claw digging you into your elbow. She stretches it with an expression of discomfort.
Don't dig your freak arm into me.
You snap. Vriska reacts to this as if she'd just been barked at by a caged animal.
Don't worry, I won't need it for much longer.
She replies cryptically.
I'm getting a new one soon.
A new creepy robot prosthetic?
You look over her fake arm. It looks heavy and old-fashioned. Where would she get a new one?
What do you want?
She changes the subject by force.
I'm making some big plans up here about dealing with the demon. I don't want to have time to play leader with you.
I'm about to admit something.
You say with a slow breath.
Against all odds, I could use your perspective.
Okay,
She shrugs.
out with it then.
You were right about Doc Scratch.
You say carefully, watching Vriska closely. Her eyebrows rise. She pauses, leaning on the balcony's banister, the windless air still and silent.
Thanks?
She offers.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm getting to the point.
You continue irritably.
I want your opinion. Doc Scratch is trying to fuck over the humans. The Scratch, it's going to kill them.
So?
Vriska shrugs.
They're just stupid aliens. Killing them gets us a new way out. Isn't that worth it?
Do you really believe that?
You ask.
You've been talking to the June human, haven't you?
Yeah,
She shrugs again.
fine. Yeah, I guess I don't want them to die. You caught me. The great and terrible Vriska has feelings. But I still think that they should do the Scratch.
Both can't happen.
You insist stubbornly.
Says who? Dr. Dickhead? What, do you just want to commiserate the fact that a bunch of aliens are going to fucking die? Is that why you came all the way out to see little old me?
Vriska cocks her head. Why did you come out here? To tell Vriska that the Scratch kills the humans? To reveal the truth? Now that the truth is out, you don't know the next step. You hear yourself speak words before you can think about it.
I can't just sit on my ass waiting to die knowing that my only saviors are a bunch of moronic alien martyrs. We have to save them.
Vriska, to your surprise, grins. She claps you on the shoulders, her metal hand making you hiss with pain.
This is a big day for you, Karkat. This is the first good idea you've ever had.
You are no longer Karkat Vantis. Thank you for listening to Homestuck Alternate Universe. HSAU is sponsored by contributions from viewers like you. To learn more, go to patreon.com/FunkMcLovin. This episode was directed, recorded, and edited by Funk McLovin. The cast, in no particular order: AE as Terezi, articulately composed as Rose and Mom, Bucky as Karkat, Captain Lazar as Jack Noir, Eclipi as Gamzee and Equius, Janaya as Kanaya and Jade, Pakin as Tavros, Technically Dead as Solix, Harper as Vriska, Shrimp as Nepeta, and West as Pfeffery. Art by Sunny Dionysus, Gastro, and Clown's Kiss. Supplemental art by Funk McLovin based on characters by Andrew Hussie. Special thanks to Daft Class, Yoitz Crow, and Andrew Hussie. Homestuck Alternate Universe is not affiliated with What Pumpkin or Viz Media. To read Homestuck's original webcomic, please go to homestuck.com or bambosh.dev/unofficial-homestuck-collection. Thank you.